calling all Kamook heads. I'll say it again, calling all Kamook heads. Today we're making another list of legendary commanders. Commanders are always legendary, but we're making another list of commanders from another show that's very near and dear to my heart, and that is regular show. But yeah, I don't want to stay in this introductory phase for too long, but please like, subscribe, and comment on like how you feel, any suggestions you'd like to do for future videos, if you want to see me remake a card I've already made and stuff like this. But yeah, these are all mine. These are all created by me using a website. And yeah, I went for flavor over anything else, over power, over like everything. And I'm also gonna be doing a part 2 of this because I couldn't fit them all in one video. So yeah, that's basically it. Please enjoy. So we're gonna just go straight into the first one. Alright, so the first one I'm going to do is Mordecai and Rigby. And don't worry, in the next video where I cover regular show, I'm going to separate Mordecai and Rigby, like make a Mordecai card and a Rigby card. But for this one, they're combined, and it reads Mordecai and Rigby. 2 generic for 2 red and 2 green. Legendary creature, raccoon, bird, employee. Now, employee is a little creature type that I made for all the employees of the park, and so yeah, you can do like park guy, park worker tribal with that if you really wanted to. But yeah, so it has ward 4 / comment like return a legendary creature you control to your hand. So yeah, you would have to pay the 4 and return a legendary creature you control to your hand to like interact with Mordecai and Rigby. And it has this mechanic that I put on all like the park employees that reads the park. Mordecai and Rigby get +1/+1 counters for each other employee on the battlefield. So that's the whole flavor of the employees, kind of like helping each other out, buffing each other just by like existing within the same range as each other. Like they're pretty chill. Employees help each other, obviously. Like that's just how it works. When Mordecai and Rigby enter the battlefield, each opponent may search their library for a card, reveal it, and then put it into their hands, then shuffle. At the beginning of your next upkeep, you win the game. Mordecai and Rigby cannot be cast on your opponent's turn. With the flavor text of "Oh!" and it being an 0/6. The O like representing Rigby's inability to like actually hurt anybody with his punches, and the 6 just being Mordecai being able to bench like 200 for some reason out of nowhere. So yeah, he's a pretty tough guy. His toughness is pretty high up there. But yeah, where does this flavor come from? Because that's a pretty OP ability, but like also at your detriment. So this is basically to represent all the crazy stuff that happens in a typical episode of regular show. That like it starts off like so simple, so small. Like Mordecai and Rigby are going for a bag of chips, and by the end of the episode, they're beatboxing God to save Benson's soul or something. So pretty much you're giving your opponents like a chance to get rid of Mordecai and Rigby, right? But if they aren't able to, if Mordecai and Rigby survive, the episode ends, i.e. you win the game, pretty much. Yeah, so that's the whole flavor behind it. The design, kind of OP, but it is 6 mana. Up next we have Benson the Boss for 2 generic, 3 red. Artifact creature, employee. I made him an artifact creature just because he's a gumball machine. Like, look at him. I mean, just look at them. This is one of my like favorite designs I did for this little set of mine, the regular show set. So it reads, lands can only be tapped to cast creature spells. All right, and that's supposed to like represent like the creatures, like the employees raking the leaves of the park, you know. So yeah, there you go. Anyway. So it also has the park ability, as is all the other employees. Benson gets a +1/+1 for each other employee on the battlefield. And then outside of that, we have at the beginning of each end step, Benson deals X damage to target opponent, where X is the amount of untapped lands they control. So this is like supposed to represent like the mess that they were unable to clean up, like using their creatures. Like the lands is like unraked leaves. So it's just Benson like screaming at them by doing the damage. Like I said, this is like one of my I like this design a lot. Like this is one of my better designs, I'd definitely say. But yeah, his flavor text reads, clean this mess up right now or you're fired. So you got to clean the mess up by, tapping your lands with creatures, getting those lands cleaned up, those leaves raked, those grounds kept, in the park. So yeah, he's a 5/3 and he's pretty angry. It's all red. So there you go. Up next we have Skips Timeless Voyager, which is just because Skips is immortal canonically. It is for 3 generic red and a white legendary creature Sasquatch employee. Yes, Skips is a Sasquatch, and he also has the park effect, just like all the other employees. Skips gets a +1/+1 for each other employee on the battlefield. Just going to show like how the employees help each other and stuff like that. So, yeah. At the beginning of your end step, search your library for a sorcery or enchantment with mana value 4 or less. If 2 or more non-token creatures enter the battlefield under your control this turn. That's supposed to represent, and I think this was a pretty good one that I did. It's supposed to represent Mordecai and Rigby, like going to Skips, asking for help, and Skips looking for his spell or a little artifact he has to help them out. Like with the flavor text being, "I've seen this before," because that's what Skips says a lot. Yeah, but he's a 5'6", pretty beefy guy. I mean, just look at him. Yeah, that's pretty good. This is a pretty good design too. I did like I remember it hitting me like, oh my god, 2 or more creatures. That's Mordecai and Rigby, and he can look for like the solution to their problem. But it's got to be mana value 4 or less, so it's just not too expensive. But yeah, I like this as a Boros commander. You can put this in like a ton of different decks. If you want to do a Boros Enchantress, like that's not unprecedented. Like I could think of a few cards you can use for enchantment with red and white, but yeah, it's not too bad, not too bad. And sorceries, I mean, obviously there's plenty of like amazing sorceries in the game that are under mana value 4. So yeah, have fun with this one. Up next we have Muscle Man Rancid Reaver. I'm pretty proud of that name, Rancid. I mean, just look at the guy. He's green. You know he's a human, right? He's completely green, and yeah, he canonically smells like milk or some shit. But yeah, I wasn't planning on using black for his mana value, like mana identity, color identity, I think you call it. But he's just like so. I don't know. I feel like a part of him just is so mean and negative in any like given situation, especially when you watch some of like the earlier seasons. Like Muscle Man just seems like a nightmare to be around. So yeah, we're gonna give him a little bit of evil here. So he's two black or green hybrid and then 1 green, 4 mana total. Legendary creature, human employee. So the employees all get the park effect. Muscle Man gets +1/+1 counter for each other employee on the battlefield. When Muscle Man enters the battlefield, choose a card name. Whenever a player casts a spell with the chosen name, draw 2 cards and lose 2 life. Now, what does this mean? What could this possibly mean? Now, I don't know how I didn't have any idea how to incorporate like my mom into like the card. So I just decided that he's just gonna make you. He's just gonna pick a word, and whenever that word, or that term is played as a card, he would get some type of benefit. So like whenever you set up Muscle Man to say my mom, he laughs, I guess. I don't know. I think the flavor is there. Like if you watch the show, regular show, and you play Magic the Gathering, you can see the flavor behind Muscle Man, Rancid Reaver, like choosing the card name. You get it. And I kind of broke the 4th wall. Like I don't usually like to do that with my cards, like breaking the 4th wall at all. Like I think that's kind of tacky, but I had to for this one. It reads, "Do you know who else really likes card advantage?" And you can go ahead and finish that if you know what Muscle Man typically says after setups like that. He's a 4/4. Up next in the Parkians, we have High Five Ghost. He is a 2 white and black legendary creature spirit employee with flying, and the park High Five Ghost gets +1/+1 for each other employee on the battlefield. Pretty good mechanic here, playing employee tribal. This is not meant to be played with shapeshifters, so don't do that. That's mean. That sucks, and that's just not fun. I hate when people bring shapeshifters to like to tribal things. Like you're just. That's not the spirit of tribal, okay? Just play elves. I'd rather you play elves, but not a Merowyn. Whenever High Five Ghost deals damage to an opponent, you and that opponent each draw a card. And I think this could be make for some pretty good politics in Commander. Like, oh, you kind of want High Five Ghost to hit you so that you get that card draw. And that's a card draw with like a splash of white in there. White doesn't get like too good of a card draw in the first place. Black is fine, I suppose. Black is definitely fine, but yeah, you get that in white. You get to give it to an opponent who might not have like an easy draw engine, so you probably gonna want to give it to your weakest opponent. And in spite of all of that, like, this is still like, it could be your commander. You're still getting a damage through, so like that can accumulate. You might want it as a blocker since it is a 1/3. But yeah, that's just supposed to represent like the little high five the high five ghost does. He just high fives your opponent, which is him dealing the damage, and then you're both like celebrating. You're both benefiting from the high five. And I didn't have any flavor text for him because High Five Ghost is like the most boring character in the show, and he barely gets any screen time or lines. So yeah, I'm sorry, High Five Bum or Bum 5 Ghost. I don't know, but that's all you're getting, buddy. But I think he's one of the more flavorful cards in this set I made. So there you go. Up next we have Pop's Sleeping Titan. This is a 2 mana, 1 and a white legendary creature, Lollylander employee. He has the Park ability, getting +1/+1 for each other employee on the battlefield, and he has the ability, when Pops enters the battlefield, draw a card for each to up to 3 other creatures you control with power 1 or less. This is supposed to represent Pops like chasing around butterflies and catching them, and I didn't know what to do with Pops, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I was trying to do like maybe some type of food token thing with like lollipops and stuff, but I was like, man, I don't know. I didn't know. So I just decided to settle on him catching butterflies, which is like him drawing cards for other like low power creatures. He is a 1/1, but with a Park ability, he can be buffed a little bit. But yeah, Pops in the show isn't really able to do much until his final form, which we are about to cover soon. But here's his flavor text. It reads, "Good show, jolly good show," which is one of Pops' lines. He loves saying good show because he's like British or something. Well, he's a Lollylander, but I think that's what British people are supposed to be saying, is good show and stuff. Good show, sport. Up next, we have Pop's World Breakers. This is like technically supposed to be like the commander if you want to do a employee deck. So yeah, this is 2 Wooburg. That's like 5, 6, 7 mana total, and he is a legendary creature, Lollylander employee Titan, because Pops is canonically a Titan in regular show lore. It's got flying, indestructible, and lifelink, and that's it. It also has the Park ability, getting +1/+1 counters for each other, well, not counters, but +1/+1 for each other employee on the battlefield. And whenever Pop enters the battlefield, if you control another employee, Pops fights target creature your opponent controls. And that's basically just supposed to represent Pops fighting for his friends, because that's kind of what he did when he fought anti-Pops. Is the only reason he did it was to save his friends. Pops isn't into violence. He's a very innocent soul, I guess. But yeah, he's a 7/7, and the flavor text reads, "Bad show." Up next, we have Anti-Pops, Evil Incarnate. This is also 7 mana, just like 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 mana, just like the other Pops. And yeah, so Lollylander Titan, and this is like Pops' exact opposite. I didn't really know how to articulate that well in the actual card, so I kind of just didn't. I guess I could have given him hexproof, but yeah, legendary creature, Lollylander Titan, flying, death touch, and annihilator 2, which seems fair because anti-Pops like destroys planets as well and galaxies, and they battle with them, and yeah, it's some crazy stuff. But the flavor part kicks in here is that so in regular show, the way the universe ends, like, or always ends, like the way the universe works is that it's a constantly repeating cycle, where it ends with anti-Popses and regular Popses fight, where they essentially take each other out and reset the universe, like destroy everything, reset the universe. So this is supposed to be the card that Pops attacks, technically. Like, he's fighting anti-Pops to save the universe, or save it, like, because if one of them wins, then they get their way with the universe, essentially. But if they both die, then the universe resets. Now, I didn't know how to make that like happen, so I decided to go ahead and just make it sure so that whenever Anti-Pops dies, each player may return any amount of creatures to their hands, and they lose 5 life for each creature they return to their hands this way. And then all creatures get -11, -11. And this is just basically to make sure that even Pops with his indestructible does die without exiling it, because when exiling it was didn't feel right. It felt too cheap. But yeah, and all creatures get -11, -11. So it's basically a board wipe if it dies, which is like, you know, how it works in the show. Like, it destroys the whole universe and resets anything that's left. So resetting being it like going back to your hand, essentially. So yeah, the flavor text reads, "My God, all of those 1-star reviews. I wish I could take them all back." Those were some of Anti-Pop's last words, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I thought it would be nice to add into the card. But yeah, this is a 7/7, just like Pop. Supposed to be his dark reflection. I don't know how well it works as that, but the art's definitely fire. So up next, we have the weird kaijus that are the baby ducks for 1 generic, 1 green, and a white, 3 in the total, legendary creature bird. Basically for 5 mana, 4 green, and a white, the baby ducks gain a base power and toughness 6/6 with trample and +1/+1 counters for each other legendary you control until end of turn. Obviously, they don't get the employee effect, like the park effect with the employees and all that, because they are not employees, they are baby ducks, alright? So, yeah, that's just basically supposed to represent the flavor of them, like, becoming weird, kaijus, like weird, like, what do you call it, like Power Ranger kaiju, like NGE, freaking Gurren Lagann characters. Like that's why they get +1/+1 for each other legendary creature they control, because the more people they add into like the big giant robot mecha thing, the more strong it gets, obviously. So yeah, we have him saying, or the duck saying, "Thank you, Mordecai Rigby, for being the coolest losers we know," and then doing the whoa thing that they do. That's a quote. That's them doing it in the art, actually. And like kind of dissing Mordecai and Rigby, even though they are friends, obviously. So yeah, they are a 4/1 because there's 4 ducks and they actually put BTA, but they are weak little baby ducks if you catch them before they transform, I guess. So yeah. Up next we have the geese for 3 generic, 1 black, legendary creature bird with flying, obviously, because they are geese. For 4 mana, 4 black, the geese get base power and toughness 7/7 and Annihilator 1 until end of turn. They actually lose flying. I don't know if I made that clear, but I guess they would keep flying here. Just all it's changing is base yeah, they just get base power and toughness 7/7 and Annihilator 1. So I'd say yeah, so I guess they would accidentally keep the flying. In retrospect, I would remove the flying here, but this isn't like a crazy hard card to like deal with. The Annihilator 1 could get like kind of messy, but this is basically to represent like their form when they combine. Like they're just like the baby ducks that they combine and make weird kaiju, like weird Mechazord forms, and yeah, so they become a 7/7, and their flavor text is, "This lake is ours, duck. If you want it, have it. You have to come and take it." So yeah, these ducks were evil. They were messing with Mordecai and Rigby. They were destroying the park, and I think they destroyed Mordecai and Rigby's sandwich or something. It was tragic. It was truly tragic. They just finished making the whole thing. Lunar Gooseberry X Omega Warrior. This is the coolest looking card. Like we have made. I mean, we haven't made. We took all the screenshots obviously from regular show. But yeah, I guess props to them for making the card look so freaking sweet, like, or the their little animation here. This is basically when the geese fuse with a bunch of other like mechs and robots and stuff and become this giant like mech that destroys half the moon and puts it on it for armor, and it looks badass. You can see like the United States flag on its shoulder there. But yeah, this is for only 5 mana, legendary artifact creature vehicle, because it is like a vehicle that they're all riding in or slash becoming. Like they kind of are, like they're at the controls, but they also are it at the same time. It gets really weird. It gets really weird, but it's for flying, and it has flying, and for 6 mana, as well as tapping the geese and 2 other legendary creatures you control. Those 2 other legendary creatures are supposed to represent the cassowary and the businessmen that initially wanted Mordecai and Rigby to sign the contract. That makes them be able to sell out their likenesses as toys. I'm talking, so like I don't think you care about the lore. But basically, you tap 2 creatures and sacrifice a land you control. Legendary land that is supposed to represent the moon, because they destroyed the moon. And Lunar Gooseberry X becomes a creature until end of turn, and whenever it attacks a player, that player may sacrifice 12 non-land permanents, and they lose 3 life for each non-land permanent they don't sacrifice this way. So, yeah. The 12/15, it could swing for lethal and 2 hits. But you would need multiple legendary lands, and I guess they can always remove it because it has no indestructible or anything on it, and it is pretty cheap. It is pretty cheap. So yeah, this is a pretty hard card to go up against. I might have I probably should have made it a little bit more expensive than it is, but I think that the requirements for activating it, like tapping the geese and 2 other legendary creatures, sacrificing, like you have to have multiple legendary lands, and you're gonna want mono black if you want to be playing this card because it is just straight. You just straight up need black mana, like 5 black mana to cast, and then 6 black mana to begin to activate its abilities. So yeah, you're gonna want this in mono black. So yeah, it makes it a little bit niche, a little bit narrow, but I feel like people can find ways to cheat this out and get it like screwing over their opponents. But there's already plenty of cards that do that anyway, so I don't feel bad if this is poor card design or if this is too broken or whatever, because there are worse cards that already exist in this game. Up next we have the other like super Megazord thingy. We have, the name is kind of long, but not crazy long, but it's Hyperduck Kingbreaker White Lightning. This is just for Wooburg, so it's 5 mana. It has flying, indestructible. It's a legendary artifact vehicle. At the beginning of your upkeep, and this is a pretty hard thing to pull off unless you have changelings, shapeshifters, and that's just lame. Don't do that. That's ignoring the spirit of the game, and tribal has a way to play it. But at the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 7 or more employees, as well as Carter and Briggs, the baby ducks, and the geese, Hyperduck exiles all of them and becomes an artifact creature until end of turn. Whenever Hyperduck attacks an opponent, if it has exiled 10 or more legendary creatures, destroy all lands defending opponent controls. That is really tough to deal with. Holy crap, that is really tough. Nobody likes mass land destruction. But this is supposed to be this isn't supposed to be something you're whipping out on turn 4 or 5. It's supposed to be something you're using to end games. That's why I made it 2020, 21, 21. If you want to use this as your commander, you can. But just know that you're probably not going to swing for a while or ever, honestly, because you need basically all the employees that exist right now. And you need Carter and Briggs, and you need specifically the baby ducks, and you need specifically the geese. So I think that kind of nerfed it a little bit because you need very specific cards, but yeah, if this is a creature and it's swinging at you, just know that the game is over. You can forget about it. I would scoop right then and there, because mass land destruction isn't something you really bounce back from. This is supposed to be a game closer, alright? So don't even worry about the 21-21 damage that's coming at your face. Even though that will also definitely kill you. I mean, I guess you could block some, but 21 commander damage, that's enough to knock you out of the game. So yeah, this card, don't ever expect this to become a creature, although there are cards that can straight up do it. I wish I would have put a clause that makes it impossible to just cheat with this, but that's impossible within itself. Magic the Gathering players will always find a way to cheat out cards, get cards attacking even when they aren't supposed to. So yeah, I would have it be like sacrifice if these needs aren't met. That's kind of where the if it has exiled 10 or more legendary creatures things comes in, because you can't destroy all the lands your opponent controls without that exile 10. So if you find a way to get it out early, or get it swinging early, I mean, you still get nothing but the commander damage thing. But I didn't give it trample, so it can be chump blocked if you have something in flying, something in the air. So yeah, I probably shouldn't have made it indestructible, to be completely honest, because it quite literally does get destroyed in the show. And speaking of that, the whole reason it destroys all lands defending opponent controls is just because it ended up destroying the world. This Hyperduck Kingbreaker White Lightning, it ended up karate chopping this dude into the Earth and destroying, wiping out all life on Earth in regular show. And by the next episode, things are just back to normal. I remember being a kid and watching that, and I was wondering, oh my god, how did everyone die? What's gonna happen next episode? Are we gonna be building back from this? No. It just went on went on like business as usual. So yeah, that's Hyperduck Kingmaker White Lightning. You can use that as your commander too, although I wouldn't suggest it. Up next we have Carter and Briggs for 3 blue and a red. Only blue and a red because they're cops. I thought it would be kind of funny, but yeah, a legendary creature, human cops. When Carter and Briggs enters the battlefield, create a 3/2 colorless vehicle artifact token with crew 1. These are from Ether Drift. This is just supposed to represent their cop car, which is, I think it's fine, you know, that's what they do. They ride around on their cop car. Whenever Carter and Briggs attacks with a vehicle, the cop car obviously, put a cuff counter on target creature. Cuff counters, this is explaining cuff counters. Target creature cannot attack or block. The owner of this creature may play 3 to remove the cuff counter. Or I would have rather like put destroyed cuff counter, but that's just not what I ended up doing. Dude, guys, I'm still learning. You can flame me in the comments like you did for the Adventure Time ones, but I am still learning. And for its flavor text, it goes, "Aw, yeah," and that's what they say in this show. But yeah, legendary creature. It has the distinction of being human cops instead of. I was gonna go for human soldiers, but I was like, are cop soldiers? Definitely not. I don't really mess with cops that much. But it's a 4/3, pretty tanky, 5 mana. This card is definitely like, you'd put this in a 99 of like a crew deck or something. I don't know like who would run this, to be honest. This is one of the weaker cards I made. But honestly, every set needs a few stinkers, I feel like. And if you want to build around this, like make it so that you're mass producing these cuff counters, and yeah, be my guest, I like the art on it. the art screenshot I put is them back to back. They just have aura, Carter and Briggs. They look pretty cool. All right, up next we have Thomas Unpaid Intern. This is the Ice King of this set, definitely, because I love the flavor I did for this. Like I don't want to glaze myself. I don't want to toot my own horn here, but this is some pretty good flavor here. This is like a double-sided card. Legendary creature, Goat Intern. So he's not an employee. He doesn't get the employee bonus of getting a +1/+1 for each other employee that is on the battlefield. So yeah, this is a 1 blue and a black legendary creature, Goat Intern. Draw a card and discard 2 cards. So that's basically supposed to represent like Thomas screwing up, but not just Thomas screwing up, but Thomas like gathering secrets almost in the graveyard. Like, he's gathering intelligence, because when you pay 2 blue and 2 black, exile 6 non-basic lands from your graveyard, also known as like the park lands, you get to transform Thomas. What does Thomas transform into? Let's see. But first, let's look at the flavor text. I think this internship is going to be really cool. That's what he says. On the first episode, he's introduced. That would being Exit 9B. But he is a 1/2, pretty weak card, honestly. Like a bad card, actually. This is a bad card. But yeah, if you pay 4, it becomes something else. So let's go right into that. You pay 4 to transform it, and he becomes Nikolai, Russian spy. Legendary creature, Goat Rogue, Shroud. Nikolai cannot be blocked. Now basically the whole thing with him exiling 4 non-basic lands was him stealing the information of the park, because in the show, canonically Thomas is meant to be stealing park information so that Russia can develop better parks. Makes no sense, I know, but he's supposed to be stealing information from the park in regular show. Yeah, so I kind of like made that a thing through the non-basic lands. Like the more non-basic lands in your graveyard, you exile them, i.e. send the information to Russia, he becomes the Russian spy. So yeah, he has Shroud, and he can't be targeted, and it cannot be blocked. And whenever Nikolai deals damage to an opponent, Nikolai gets to play the top card of their library. Until end of turn, you may spend mana as though it was any other color to cast spells this way. So yeah, he steals the parts information, then he steals like the cards off the top of your deck, and yeah, I mean, I think that's perfectly flavorful. Like I did a really good job on this one. Honestly, I love patting my back. This is like the classic Dimir, the Dimir good card design I did, I suppose. I don't want to make that a thing though. I don't want any things. That's too much of a commitment. But just like Ice King, I love this card design too, and it reads, "I am Nikolai, Russian spy," which is what he says. That's a terrible Russian accent I just did, my bad. But yeah, he's a 3/5. Retrospect, I would have made him like maybe a 2/4 or something. But yeah, that's Nikolai. You're gonna want to be attacking with him. This is a decent commander if you want to discard a bunch of lands. You can probably find ways to play them again later with Crucible of Worlds, but yeah, that's Nikolai or Thomas. That's actually gonna be it for the video. I definitely talked a little bit faster than I did on the last video. I mean, I think this one still came up to like around roughly 20 minutes, I want to say. I don't know how long I've been sitting here. Roughly 20 minutes, maybe 15. I don't know. It could be 30 again. I will not know until I start editing it, but I have not. But yeah, like I said, please like and subscribe. Comment what you think about these, dude. Like literally, like what do you think about the flavor? Any edits I should make? Any spelling mistakes? There's probably a couple. I'm not gonna lie. There's probably a couple. But yeah, I think the flavor, for the most part, was spot on. There's some cards where I completely disregarded flavor for just like what the characters were. Like Carter and Briggs, like you can't really call it that flavorful, even though it technically is on the nose, but they're just cops. They don't have too much going on for them. Other than that, like, is there any flavor losses here? I guess I could have made the baby ducks and the geese transform rather than just like gain base power toughness for their weird transformations they do in the show, but I decided against it. I don't know why. Maybe I was just lazy. You know what? Just because of that, I'm gonna make card versions of it for the next regular show video I do, which is gonna be the next video. Next video, I'm gonna be remaking all the. I'm gonna be making the baby ducks better form as well as the geese's better form. So yeah. I'm also going to be remaking Mordecai and Rigby as separate cards, and I might just do some random throwaway characters the regular show has had. Funny ones like I find memorable. But yeah, that's going to be it for the regular show Commander creation video. I hope you liked it. The second one will be just as good, I promise. Alright, well, stay scheming or keep dreaming. Thanks for watching.
Corinthians chapter 13, verse 4 through 7. Love is patient, love is kind. I'm the Kamookster, and if you're listening this far back, just know that I'm unsure if I've ever experienced true love in my entire life. I am 20, so yeah, that's it.